You want to step out and tell me what you were saying over there?
What was I doing?
Yeah, you were over there flicking me off.
That's freedom of speech.
Yeah, but you want to do it in front of my face?
So?
You want to step out of the car and do that?
No, you. I'm not stepping out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Get your supervisor.
That's why.
You can't even give me your goddamn badge number or your ID.
You want to step out?
What, and if I do, I'm not going to. Where's your badge number and your name? I said I want your badge number, asshole.
I do not believe this.
Is flipping off a cop against the law? No. But Greg Bombard was arrested for it anyway. In 2018, Greg was pulled over by Vermont State Trooper Jay Riggin for allegedly flipping Riggin off as he passed, which Greg swore under oath that he did not do.
Did you not do that? No, you might have thought it might have been stretching. You have to do it there. Okay, so you didn't. No.
But even if he had, he wouldn't have broken the law. Expressing disapproval of the police is constitutionally protected speech, just the same as thinking we should back the blue. Riggin ignored this fact by pulling Greg over for it, making the stop itself illegal. The exchange was contentious, with Riggin being rude and confrontational.
You may not have been doing that, but I think you can agree that if someone was looking for the attention of a trooper, they're probably going to find it by giving them that type of negative signal. Do you agree with that?
When Greg was finally let go, he did flip Riggin the bird for abusing his power. This enraged Riggin enough to pull Greg over again and arrest him for disorderly conduct, an overused catch-all that can include basically anything an officer doesn't like.
I'm walking away.
Huh?
Am I free to go?
Why you give me the finger?
Am I free to go?
No. Come
For
here.
what reason?
Why you give me the finger?
I'm free to go. Am I free to go?
What's your problem?
Am I free to go?
No.
What, do you have a problem?
No.
Do you have a problem?
No.
You don't have a problem, then I can leave.
Why you give me the finger when you're walking? Get over here.
Why?
Because.
Is that a lawful order?
Yeah.
For what reason?
Because you're giving me the finger.
That's legal.
No, it isn't.
We all know that what the kid did and what the other two people did is not a crime. It's only a crime in the mind of the cop because their ego is hurt. Their butt hurt. And this is pure retaliation. Putting a finger in the air in the United States of America is actually getting people arrested. What do you think you would do in a similar situation if you flipped a cop off and they make contact and then subsequently they make an unlawful detention? And they're going to make the claims about disorderly conduct. I'd never heard the road rage thing before. But they're so pissed off about getting flipped off, they don't worry about making stuff up. So what would you do if this happened to you? Flip a cop off, they get pissed, they make contact, they make an unlawful detention, demands for ID, manufacturing crimes. So what are you going to do? The first thing you're going to do if this happens to you is, am I being detained? And the cop says yes, and you ask him, well, why or what for? What crime did I commit? Well, you flipped me off. Perfect. The officer just confessed. So I'm detaining you because you flipped me off, which isn't a crime. Aha. Now's the time to employ the strategy that I'm about to share. And I have to be honest, I don't recall ever hearing or seeing anyone come up with this idea. And I think that it's going to be effective to the point where it should secure your immediate release. You stick to it. You don't quit or deviate. Stick to the strategy. And what is that strategy to get you out of the situation, especially if you've been unlawfully detained? Because if they continue the detention, they're in even more trouble. It was my ring finger, officer. You're detaining me for putting a ring finger in the air. It is guaranteed that you have now short-circuited their limited thinking capacity. Now remember, you can flip them off the old-fashioned way and then just tell them it was your ring finger. Or you can use your ring finger. And don't let them flip the script that, well, I thought it was your middle finger. It's perceptions. No, it's not. You would have had to put your middle finger up to actually convey the F-U. They have criminalized putting a ring finger in the air. And if they are dumb enough to follow through with a ticket or even a custodial arrest, how are they going to justify or explain that? Yeah, I made the world a safer place because that guy put his ring finger in the air and I'm a hero. Well, what if you're Johnny Cash? Johnny Cash, burning ring of fire. You flip somebody off in the audience because you don't like them. And it turns out the person in the audience that you flipped off is an off-duty police officer, the thin blue line guy. And he jumps up on the stage and says, there might be children in this audience or within a mile. You're under arrest for a public disturbance and disorderly conduct. You know, that's the reason that Johnny got tossed into Folsom Prison. You know, most people don't know that, and I'm going to guess some people won't believe me, but all I can say is prove me wrong. So Johnny has his day in court. Johnny Cash's defense attorney, he's going to go ahead and he's going to cross-examine the arresting officer, of course. And he's going to go through kind of the A to Z, and what he's hoping to do, not only document everything that the officer says, but maybe he'll catch the officer in an inconsistency. Because remember, the officer would have just testified on behalf of the state on direct examination from the corrupt prosecutor. But what it all boils down to isn't what Johnny Cash said, it's what he did. And what did he do? He made a gesture. That's all he did, was make a gesture that the officer didn't like. Well, let's get into gestures. And this is where you're going to blow the whole system out of the water. When you flip somebody off, what message are you trying to convey to that person? F you, right? I mean, that's how they're going to interpret it too. You mean it as F you, and they interpret it as F you. So a gesture meant F you, and that's why you get arrested. F you. I wonder if there are other gestures that likewise mean F you. Here we go. This is how you make the system look stupid.
The forearm jerk. Think of the European forearm jerk as the big brother of the American middle finger.
Everybody recognizes that gesture. It means two things: up yours or F you. It's a gesture that has the same meaning, more or less, as the middle finger. So the question that the defense attorney is going to ask, officer, do you recognize this gesture? What does it mean? Well, let me tell you, it means either up yours or F you. And now that you know that, instead of a middle finger, if you saw somebody do this to you, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to make contact? And are you going to take enforcement action? It's yes or no. In summary, if you flip a cop off and they make contact and they're looking to make a detention, or they do make an unlawful detention, make sure that you ask if you're being detained and what crime you're suspected of committing. Let them say, well, you flipped me off. And then tell them it was my ring finger. But if you do flip a cop off and you get contacted, detained, you get a ticket or even a custodial arrest, I mean, it's going to be a cage, and you land in court, go through what we already discussed. Show them this gesture. You know, this is during cross-examination of the arresting officer. Show them this gesture. Make sure you say, what does this mean? Because we've all seen it. Well, here's what it means. Up yours and F you. And now that you know that, that's key to say. Now that you know what it means, if you saw someone make this gesture toward you or in your direction, are you going to take enforcement action just like you did when you arrested or ticketed my client for the middle finger? They have the same meaning. What are you going to do, officer? We're waiting.